Been an up-and-coming star for around the last 4 years. He was ushered into the internet game around the same time as his good friend Jack Harlow, and it was like as Jack was rising up the ranks of music, Druski was rising up the ranks of comedy.
This is gonna fuck up the what's called proportion. Not that. I could have made it bigger, but I should have did that before.
During that time, he has become the most infamous skit comedian online, and this has obviously afforded him many opportunities, including his own show, countless sponsorships.
Yeah, I would hope he didn't do this shit, because I'm like, god damn, like, this nigga blew the fuck up.
Yeah, like
just to fuck it all up this early, like
I just went to one of his live shows like 2 years ago.
That's insane.
At the Bojangles Coliseum.
Oh yeah, he did come to Charlotte. Yeah, recently. It's crazy.
And commercials, features in movies, steak and Happy Dad alcoholic beverages, a feature on 2K, a comedy tour, and frequent collaborations with the biggest streamers and comedians.
Yeah, tour is crazy now I think about it. Like an actual whole tour around the like country and shit. Like
yeah, they were selling out.
Yeah, I put Instagram reels. Like, come on, bro.
In the world. Basically, this man became a cash cow, as Druski has an insane ability to take everyday situations and types of people and turn them into a viral skit or a meme. And his comedy just has this way of reflecting and predicting in real life situations. But now Druski has found himself wrapped up in the Diddy situation, as he and his friend and popular wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr., have been listed in some of these Diddy accusations. But the claims they are throwing around here are
also, too, feel free to just stop it, like, whenever you want to say something. But I'm going to just speed up just a little tiny bit.
Honestly so outlandish that it almost makes this hard to believe. Now, yesterday was when this bombshell would hit the timeline. In the matter of Ashley Parham versus Sean Diddy Combs, an amended complaint names 2 more plaintiffs and several additional defendants, including Odell Beckham Jr., Druski, and a myriad of other people. So previously, it was just Ashley Parham versus Sean Diddy Combs, and then a couple John Does that were not listed, and now those John Does, the main ones, have been listed as Druski and Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. And like I said, too, I feel like if you were really innocent for real, like your hands were clean, you wouldn't even be like not involved in it. I don't know. Like, what do you think?
I don't know. I just want to know more proof of like what there is about him like being involved in this.
Facts.
In total, Druski's name is actually listed 45 different times in this lawsuit.
And
but these
45? What the fuck?
The key details that really make everyone think that this is pretty far-fetched. Defendant Diddy then instructed another defendant Doe to also violate plaintiff defendant Doe, who has been determined to be defendant Druski, is what they're alleging. They say instead of immediately violating the plaintiff, defendant Druski doused plaintiff with more oil and lubricant, and then jumped on top of the plaintiff's naked and oiled body, treating it like a slip and slide, and knocking the wind out of the plaintiff due to his enormous size. So they're saying Druski was in there slipping and sliding all around. Defendant Druski then caught himself from sliding over the plaintiff's oiled body, and off the bed, he then began violating the plaintiff through her reproductive parts.
I don't think a lawyer would write this like that. Like, just this has to be presented in front of a judge. Like, they talking about the slip and slide, and like they kind of made it too comedic.
I feel that
like it's not funny at all, but they like made it. They tried to like make it sound like a funny thing, like almost like a troll.
Yeah. Yeah, too. I was thinking maybe like the lawyers are the people that actually write this, but I don't know, because even then, like, why would a lawyer be like saying that? But I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know. I think we need more evidence.
Yeah, man.
But 43 times is a lot.
Yeah, 43 is kind of concerning.
While defendant Druski was violating the plaintiff, defendant Diddy sat in a chair near the bed and began pleasuring himself while recording plaintiff's violation by defendant Druski. Another party's phone fell on the bed near the plaintiff. The plaintiff then attempted to grab the phone, but it slipped out of her hands and onto the floor due to the oil/lubricant that had been doused all over her person by defendants Diddy and Druski.
Are you serious, bro? She couldn't even pick up her phone because it was that much oil? Like... Sorry. It's not funny. God damn.
Obviously, at this point, the baby oil is like infamous in this Diddy case. For those of you who don't remember, they claim that they discovered over 1,000 bottles of laced baby oil in Diddy's house.
And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
Defendant Diddy began laughing at plaintiff's attempt to grab the phone. Throughout this violent gang violation, defendant Diddy made constant belittling remarks to plaintiff, including that he owned her now. When defendant Druski was finished violating the plaintiff, defendant KK entered the room to examine the condition of the plaintiff, who was barely able to move or control her bodily functions. And they say this is when they attached her to an IV and pretty much brought her back to life, made sure she wasn't gonna die. And that was apparently when Diddy...
Bruh, oh my fucking God, bro. It's just... Yeah, that's a lot of detail, bro. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So far, I'm gonna say he's looking kind of scary.
Yeah, that is horrifying.
Yeah, it's looking kind of scary, bro. Like, but we'll see. You know, innocent until proven guilty. But right now, it's looking guilty as fuck.
Diddy, Shane, who is apparently the man who...
At least in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't.
But I mean, people do be lying like fuck, especially when there's something to gain. But I don't know. Let's keep watching.
Who introduced Diddy to this person. KK, Odell, and Druski then exited the residence to the backyard where they smoked marijuana and cigarettes. And so obviously this all had the internet going absolutely wild. Of course, people immediately started resurfacing old clips of Diddy hanging out with Druski.
Don't mind if I do.
They were basically saying that this clip hits different now, as it was also rumored that Diddy had been lacing drinks at his infamous parties.
I wouldn't.
No, bro, this is terrible. And let's put our thinking caps on, bro. Like, there's no way that like this nigga Druski was around Diddy and didn't know what was going on for real. Facts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
facts. You
And
feel me?
like I feel that way with just about every celebrity that's been kicking it with him, like consistently.
Yeah, consistently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same. Feel the same way about Epstein, but that's a whole other topic. Like if you flew in there, you knew what was happening.
Yeah, you knew what's happening, bro.
Like if you flew to that island, you knew what was going on there. Like you can't really convince me otherwise.
Facts.
And I kind of feel the same way about his parties. Like if you went to his parties, you knew something was happening. If you were staying after hours, like you were staying there past 2 a.m, you knew what was going on.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Damn. Yeah, I didn't want to believe it.
Shot.
Druski was also asked at one point what it was like to attend these Diddy parties.
You ever been to one of Diddy parties?
Yeah, I've been in attendance. I've been in attendance. Not, hey, what the fuck you smirking for?
You say that.
I've been in attendance.
We just asking
That's
regular
all I said.
questions.
That's all I said. I said I've been in attendance. I have been in attendance.
We never been. We just asking.
We just
Yeah,
asking.
yeah. As soon as you asked, he said,
You had fun?
I ain't seen that.
"Yeah, you did."
I ain't seen that.
Yeah, I had fun. Yeah, I mean, it was a party. I wasn't at one of them parties.
We ain't seen that party.
Oh my fucking God, bro. This was
I've been in
terrible.
attendance at a puff party. You know what I'm saying? I've been in attendance. Yeah, I went. Yeah, the party I went to, it was girls turn up. You know what I'm saying? The regular. You know what I mean? Other celebrities and shit. Yeah,
That's what you do.
Now, obviously, Druski does like to troll. Yes, his body language became a little bit uncomfortable, but you do have to keep in mind that thousands of different people have been to these Diddy parties, allegedly, and obviously when they're all asked about it, they all say, well, you know, I went to the Diddy party, but I didn't go to, like, the Diddy party, like, the behind-the-doors party that was going on. So then I started questioning, well, what was Diddy's relationship with Druski? And as you guys can see here, back in 2021, Druski did have this show called Sneaking In with Druski, and upon further inspection, you can see that this was airing on Revolt.
What? And Revolt is owned by Diddy.
Yeah.
Bro, ain't no way, bro. You got a
Yeah.
whole show on his network?
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either, bro. What the fuck? Yeah, bro. You're cooked. Ain't no way, bro. You're cooked, dog.
Which was a media network that was primarily owned and founded by Sean Diddy Combs. And although he no longer owns any shares in the company, back in 2021 he was still running that shit, and he presumably gave that opportunity to his boy Druski. I also thought that this little tidbit was interesting because Odell Beckham Jr. and Druski have been friends for quite a few years now. Baltimore Ravens wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. struck up a friendship with Druski upon finding his videos and invited the comedian to stay at his home during the COVID-19 pandemic. And obviously the pandemic was back in early 2020, and that's where these dates really start not matching up because the defendant is saying that this happened on March 23rd, 2018, way before Druski was even remotely famous or known online, where the defendant says that this guy Shane invited the plaintiff over to his home to assist him with his cancer medications because he stated he was weak and unable to open his medications. She says upon her arrival that this guy Shane wanted to give her a ride in his new car, and she says this is when this guy Shane pretty much set her up for the violation that allegedly involved Diddy, Druski, and OBJ. Now, much like with Jay-Z with his recent Diddy accusations, Druski would respond swiftly to this filing, where he says the allegation is a fabricated lie. I wasn't a public figure in 2018. I was broke and living...
Okay, here's what I have a problem with. Basic PR. Why the fuck would the second thing you say be, I wasn't a public figure in 2018?
Yeah.
You feel me? How about, I would never do no shit like that?
Yeah.
Or, you feel me? Or that's not even my character, or something like, you feel me? Like that. Like, to be honest, this kind of response makes me feel a little weird. Because first thing he said was, wait, I wasn't even famous back then. I'm like, okay, so what if you were? Like, you know, like, I just feel like a regular person would have been like, what the fuck? Like, I would never do no shit like this. Like,
Yeah, like,
you feel me? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, don't speak on it. Like, yeah, like, you feel me? Like, so I don't know.
Yeah, I can't get behind, like, I can't get behind that response at all, because like it don't make you look like you have a good conscience.
Mm.
You don't have a clean conscience at all.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's kind of like the Reed method in a way with detective work.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the Reed method, it's like your response is everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go straight to defense, then you probably are guilty.
A little guilty, yeah.
Like you probably did something.
Probably did something. Druski Diller, I don't know.
To this filing, where he says the allegation is a fabricated lie. I wasn't a public figure in 2018. I was broke and living with my mom without any connections to the entertainment industry at the time of this allegation, so the inclusion of my name is truly outlandish. My heart breaks for actual victims of abuse, but I'm fully confident that the evidence will expose this falsehood and the individuals who are maliciously trying to game the legal system to peddle false narratives. So he kind of has the same stance that Jay-Z had back a couple months ago, saying this whole thing is a bunch of bullshit, and the timeline isn't even really adding up. And of course, when something like this comes out, you're gonna have a lot of people running with the story, like this tweet that went viral where this girl says, I can't believe hashtag Odo Beckham Jr. and hashtag Druski are in this new Diddy lawsuit taking turns violating this girl. Wow. You had other popular hip-hop and media
Yeah, I hope it's not true.
pages saying Druski did what? The same sentiment is shared here, ironically including this misinformation meme. Then you had people using Druski's own skits against him, like this guy who says there's no way that this Druski shit is real. Basically saying that was Druski's reaction to this information. Another user says Druski after someone didn't give him consent. This guy specifically seems to really be leading the charge when it comes to these.
I saw this one.
I
saw this one. That's the thing too, bro. Social media is so funny, bro, because people really believe it. That's why it goes viral. Yeah. You feel me? Like, I saw this one. This is what happened week. He said, we got good news and bad news, buddy. The good news is the payment went through. The bad news is they gave you life.
Very serious situation. He says Druski's lawyer right now.
We got good and bad news. Good news, we got your payment, buddy. Bad news, they gave you life. Sayonara.
So yeah, it's just crazy to see this guy's own skits and various statements being used against him at this point, even if it is a joke. These are the type of things that people
He's literally a fucking walking meme, bro. Like, how do you take over the internet that bad? Like, I don't even understand it. Like,
to get off online, and they do end up going viral. And it's really all just for a couple little Twitter shekels and a little bit of clout. Like, it's not worth making this type of weird, shitty joke, whether you believe he's guilty for some reason or not. Because honestly, I think it's a whole bunch of nonsense. And it leads to other people making more serious statements like this. Okay, so now that Druski was named in the Diddy lawsuit for gang violation, this creepy skit he made in 2022 about guys getting girls drunk to have sex with them is aging so horribly. And it's like, does the person that posted this not understand that the entire point of this skit was to pretty much dog out guys that act like this? Like, the whole point of the skit is to say the guys who act like this are pieces of shit. Now, here is a clip from 4 months ago of this news network, and of the lawyer representing this woman, Ashley Parham, in this case, and now these other two Jane Does, speaking on behalf of her client and the entire situation.
Well, okay, yeah, so the lawyer wrote that. Right? Or am I misunderstanding?
Take it back.
Attorney said
now these are the two Jane Does news network, and of the lawyer representing this woman, Ashley Parham, in this case, and now these are the two Jane Does, speaking on...
The lawyer was representing them, so the lawyer is probably the one who took the information and wrote the complaint. Or the whatever the fuck.
On behalf of her client and the entire situation.
Well, her attorney says she was in her 30s at the time of this alleged violent attack. It happened just about half a mile away from the Orinda police station here in a quiet neighborhood about 6 years ago.
So yeah, 6 years ago, long before Druski was known at all.
Ashley Parham says in 2018, Diddy and his entourage violently gangbang style... her in Orinda. Her attorney, Ariel Mitchell, says it all started when she met a man named Shane Pierce in a bar in Contra Costa County, who began a FaceTime call with Diddy.
She actually made a quip about Mr. Combs having something to do, that she didn't like him because he had something to do with Tupac's murder.
The lawsuit says Parham believed Pierce invited her over to set her up to be by Diddy. The Contra Costa County Sheriff's Office told us in a statement, a report was taken on March 23, 2018. We take these cases seriously, and detectives thoroughly investigated the accusations. It was later determined the claims were unfounded.
And that does make things a little bit more interesting for me because obviously a legitimate report was made at that time, but even back then the police say, well, we found no wrongdoing. As a matter of
Okay, so the lawyer has already partaken in a case where kind of the same thing happened, but they didn't press no charges because there wasn't enough information.
Yeah.
Okay, so that ruins his credibility.
Matter of fact, they're saying we don't believe this ever even happened.
She also reported the incident to Walnut Creek Police and Orinda Police without naming Diddy, as she felt she would not be believed. The woman who lives there confirms Pierce lived there, but that he was too sick with cancer and ALS to have done this. She also says Pierce did not know Diddy.
So they're saying this guy has not only cancer, but also ALS. Now, if I really want to get into my conspiracy bag, I want to note here that I think that this all could just be a mastermind smokescreen being set by Diddy and his legal team. It's like Pokemon, okay? The accuracy goes down once you set the smokescreen. Because recently, the case against Jay-Z has been dropped without prejudice, which I believe means that they cannot try to bring it back up in court. They cannot try and try Jay-Z again for the same thing. Obviously, there was a lot of holes in the timeline of that story. The accuser's own father said that he doesn't remember any of that taking place. And overall, the timeline and the series of events, especially once she came out on that news segment, just really were not adding up. And when the decision by the judge was made public and that entire thing was dismissed, Sean Combs' legal team would put out this statement. Today's complete dismissal by the 1-800 attorney is yet another confirmation that these lawsuits are built on falsehoods, not facts. For months, we have seen case after case filed by individuals hiding behind anonymity, pushed forward by an attorney.
Okay, that will be a good move by Diddy's lawyers, though, to just try to get all these fake cases brought up and thrown away so you can say, hey, all these other cases where they said he was doing all this stuff, you know, got thrown out and weren't able to be proved. So that means everything's not able to be proved. So it makes sense, but I don't know.
Attorney more focused on media headlines than legal merit. Just like this claim, the others will fall apart because there is no truth to them. Sean Combs has never essayed or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. No number of lawsuits, sensationalized
I'll fast forward a little bit.
Allegation, false claim. A bit of a smokescreen. Because if you have enough of these outrageous allegations coming out, it allows you to kind of start poking holes and giving a little bit of reasonable doubt to accusations that could actually be legit.
Facts, what I just said.
And it's like the more outlandish they get, like describing Druski as using her as a slip and slide and then the timeline not adding up at all, it just hurts the case for people who are possibly actual victims of abuse at the hands of P. Diddy. And at this point, it's like Diddy seems so seemingly stuck in this corner that it's like that's all they can do to kind of like alter the public perception a little bit. And as these cases start getting knocked down and dismissed, it kind of starts the social programming and people start to think, well, maybe these other things aren't real either. And obviously on the other end of the spectrum, you're going to have a whole bunch of people just bringing up false claims because
I'm not going to lie, that's smart as fuck. And it kind of makes sense. Like, you know, like maybe that's what actually is going on.
Because they want a payday, they want a settlement. It's just the way they describe the entire series of events just seems a little bit too outlandish for me personally to believe. And I think that it could definitely hurt real victims in this case. Either way, I want to know what you guys think about these accusations.
What do you think? Did he do it?
I think he might have done something, but I don't think it was whatever it was wrote.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely don't think his hands are clean either. But yeah, I definitely don't think his hands are all the way clean, but he probably didn't do that. But you know, we'll see.